Good morning everybody, it's the 7th of December 2020 and today I'm going to get back on the race car and find out what the problem is. But first, I need to tidy the garage. Now that the garage is semi-tidy, I can think about what I'm going to do to this. So, let me just update you a little bit on what the state of play is. So just before the first lockdown in the UK, the car was ready. It was ready to get on the track. I had a track day booked on the day we went into lockdown. And the car ran fine. It had a small overfueling issue halfway through a day, but I kind of, that didn't bother me too much because the first half of the day it would run perfectly. And I am hammering it on the track 30-40 laps at a time and there's no issues. So once we got thrown into lockdown, I thought, this is an opportune time to get the engine apart, get it painted, get it rebuilt. I did a compression test on the car and they were very, very good. All cylinders very, very good. So I decided not to touch the bottom end. I've changed the fuel pump and everything on that, the oil pump on it before it went into the previous car, and it was perfect. Not a problem at all. So I didn't feel there was any need for me to touch the bottom end. However, I knew that there was an issue with the top end. So I decided to take the head off, and as I did, it had a massive hole in the head where it just degraded over time from the coolant waste. I'll post a picture up now. And as you can see, that's a pretty deep burr into the aluminium head, and it would have caused issues, or at least gone at some point. So fortunately I had a second head, picture here, that I got refurbished. I had port and polished, and I put new springs, new valve stems, seals, you name it, all in. And I rebuilt the engine back up, painted everything up that I wanted to, as you can see in the pictures, and then threw it all back together, trying to kind of have the consideration of what is best for the engine, how can I make it easier for me going forward, because it is a race car, it's not road legal, it doesn't need to be. I would just want it easy to maintain. If I need to pull the engine in and out, get around it, all that kind of good stuff, how can I make it easy? On that note, all of the sensors, all of the gaskets, everything has been changed, from plugs, spark plugs, plug leads, coil packs, coolant sensors, knock sensors, crank sensors, cam sensors, you name it, everything has been changed. To the point where I'm now able to start the engine-ish, and it moves under its own steam. Great. However, I do not feel that I did the timing correct, because it will start, but it is lumpy, very, very lumpy, and it shakes its knob off. Now this isn't good. I've checked all the compression on cylinders again, they're all still the same as they were, really nice. And on cylinder 5 and 2, they're really coked up, even on just a 30-second run, really coked up. Whereas 1, 3, 4 and 6 are heavily doused in fuel. They're actually wet inside the cylinder, and I don't want to keep doing that, because if the cylinder breaks down the seal, I'm going to have to take the engine apart and redo the bottom end, and I really don't want to go down that route. So the engine's got to come apart again for me to get to the timing chains to make sure it is timed. Now, I did check it. I've ordered all of this off last week, and I did check it, and the cams line up with what I think is top dead center on the crank pulley side. That lines up. However, I feel that maybe they've slipped a tooth on the intermediate shaft for the oil pump. If that is the case, it means they are maybe a tooth out all around. I've scoped each one of the cylinders. None of them have come back showing any kind of deformation with the valves. The valves seat correctly, they come out correctly. I've managed to scope the intakes and the exhaust ways. None of them look bent, but again, I can check that better once everything's taken off and I'm down to the timing chains. So that's where we're at. So the next stage is to start pulling things off and getting down to those timing chains. So yeah. So the mark is on, the plate is in, just need to take them off to make sure this side's good. So that's in the right place. We follow the chain round, you can see the line there, but then if we look at the top half, the line and the kind of triangle are in line, and the slop is definitely on this side. So I'm at a loss now